Hi there, Cate. Yeah,
It's nice
good.
to put a
Thanks.
face to a voice. Very nice. Yeah. We've been having a little chat about putting the EV Expo up online, which is something that Repower Shoalhaven started relatively recently, from what I understand. I'd love to know a little bit more about it so that we could entice people to come down to the Sanctuary Point, Spring Fair.
Yes, it's been held on the 19th of October, a Saturday. It's a very well attended event, and the background to Repower Shoalhaven getting involved in this particular area is it really fits our mission of trying to increase the number of renewables and the amount of renewables, particularly in the public sphere by residents and citizens of the Shoalhaven, and recognising that of all of the areas of savings that can be made, an EV is by far and away the biggest compared to, say, your home appliances. So
that's quite interesting in and of itself.
Not only has it got the potential to save anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 per annum. This year, Repower has commenced doing what we call EV Expos or EV Days, and the purpose of those is to allay some of the fears that people have, range anxiety and other things. How many chargers are there around? Where do they need to go? The different types of EVs, whether it's a battery electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid. So there's a degree of confusion, and so we're trying to address that, and we do that using members of ours and other willing citizens who have lived experience. So they have EVs. They come along and they speak to the public about their experiences, and we're not trying to sell cars. That's the key thing here, Cate.
I think that's beautiful, John. I really love that you said that to me yesterday too. I mean, who would you trust? Somebody who has lived experience or a car salesman? So the answer is clear.
That's exactly right. So we've done two of these, one in Nowra at the Nowra markets, and about 4 weeks ago we did it at the Husky markets. In the second of those in particular it was a very well attended event, and we got lots of interest, lots of questions, and there is a degree of commonality in this particular region. There's an acknowledgement that there is a lack of public and even destination EV chargers, and if we're going to continue to be an attractive tourist destination, that's something that needs to be addressed. One piece of good news there is that it's been announced by the field retailer Aura that they're installing a fast charger in South Nowra in around about 12 months.
That's wonderful. I also saw that, was it Shoalhaven Council was offering a support funding for retail organisations in the tourist industry that wanted to put in a charger?
Yes, and the New South Wales government has a couple of programs in that regard. There's one for destination chargers, and there's another that relates to fast chargers and other public chargers. So, there are opportunities within those grant programs for more chargers. They will come, but we're actually, that's another project of Repower Shoalhaven is that we're working on at the moment, is to work with local communities, including the Vincentia community, who are endeavouring to get an EV charger in the Vincentia Village Shopping Centre.
Oh,
another project that we're working on to see if we can facilitate and stimulate.
I wonder, John, if you might join us. So, sorry, there's a bit of a lag, and I apologise to our viewers. I keep missing the moment, but we are running a mini fair, I guess, down in the Vincentia shopping centre area, the older one, not the newer one, on Sunday the 13th. So maybe we can attract you down there with a single car or something to have a bit of chat.
That's
to
the 13th of which month?
October.
Okay.
October.
October.
Yes.
Let's have a discussion about that. Yeah, we'll see what we can do in that regard. So maybe it's worth just talking a little bit more about the Sanctuary Point event. So we plan to have a range of vehicles there. So we've got they're all used vehicles. Some are quite new, like within the last 12 months, and some are 4 or 5 years old. But it's a mixture of the more budget-priced vehicles, the familiar Tesla Y. There's going to be a BYD Atto, the Ioniq, the Hyundai Ioniq, which is about 4 years old, an MG4, and either a BYD Dolphin, GWM Aura, or a short-range Nissan Leaf. So it's designed to be able to show people the different price points and what you can expect to see in different vehicles.
That's just very enticing to get down there and have a look. I wonder, at the moment, do you have any figures about how many people in the Shoalhaven have electric vehicles?
No, we don't. We don't have that information. You can expect that it'll be less than the national figures. So we've got a long way to go in that regard as a country and in this locale as well. But there are a number of positive developments that have occurred, some to do with various levels of government, the federal government with its fuel emission standards that are being introduced will assist. The New South Wales government with its charger grants will assist private industry itself that's installing chargers, often with the assistance of government grants. Prices, so the manufacturers are reducing prices. There was a pretty significant and pretty much across the board of various manufacturers reduction in prices a couple of months ago, and there's a greater variety of vehicles available. And the second-hand market is one that's pretty well looked after as well. So the Good Car Company is one example in that regard, where you can get an imported used vehicle at quite often attractive prices. So there's a number of ways of getting into the market, and more as time passes and the uptake of EVs increases, the second-hand market, the usual second-hand market, is going to increase, and so people again will have opportunities to buy EVs at lower price points.
It's all pretty wonderful, and it seems from where I'm standing to be moving pretty fast. I guess with the Yilla Healing Trail, what we're really wanting to do is kind of make the point about reciprocity between people and planet. So I wonder if you could just maybe give us a bit of a thought process to go through regarding the benefits, ecologically speaking, of having an electrical vehicle as opposed to a petrochemical based vehicle.
Yes, so internal combustion engine, well, clearly that continues to, so there's the embedded emissions, as there are between any of these vehicles, whether they're electric vehicles or internal combustion engines. But it's the real difference comes in the operational life of the vehicle. So with say a battery electric vehicle, the emissions can be very low, and it really depends on where you charge your vehicle. So if the vehicle is only being charged from the grid, then we're looking at whatever percentage of the grid power is coming from renewables. If we're talking about charging from home, then there is the potential for the emissions to be effectively zero. So that's in terms of carbon emissions. What I should say though is that it's worth noting that there's a lot of misinformation when it relates to plug-in hybrids. So people, for genuine reasons to do with range anxiety and the like, have an inclination to look at plug-ins and to purchase plug-ins. In fact, there are more plug-ins than there are battery electric vehicles. The problem is that the claims around the reduction in carbon emissions and their fuel efficiency are such that they are little better, those vehicles, than standard internal combustion engines. So people are thinking that they're doing the right things. They're expecting to receive savings. I mean, one measure of that is that on average, people could expect to pay $1,000 per annum extra in their fuel costs than the manufacturer would otherwise have them below.
Wow.
And so too with the carbon emissions. Not much different from, again, it does depend a little bit on how the vehicle is used, but not much different from an internal combustion engine. So that's another message we're trying to get out there. There have been articles in recent times in the media on this, but it's a key point that we can make when we speak one-on-one with people such as these EV days and expos. Okay.
I think also you sent me that article, which was really well written, about one car manufacturer and their fairly fraudulent claims. Whether that was an honest mistake or not, who knows? But it was pretty shocking. So I'm going to be including that in the notes. So if you do want to know a little bit more about what John is talking about regarding that, have a look in the notes below, and the link will be there.
Yes, indeed, Cate. I mean, it's one of the stories that was written about this. It highlights the fact that these claims are made, and people even do things like carpooling. So they're doing the right thing, using a plug-in vehicle, carpooling, thinking that they're achieving improvements both in terms of reduction in carbon emissions and in fuel efficiency. And indeed, they're not. Most commonly.
Thank you for warning us about that. I had no idea until yesterday. So there you go. And I consider myself to be fairly well informed. There's a lot of new information coming out all the time, and a lot of, it's a painful growth period, I think we'd call it. So really thank you for that.
Yes, and look, I think that a number of these concerns and anxieties that people have will progressively be addressed as there are more EV chargers out there, as word of mouth. I think that's a very important thing here, and we're part of that word of mouth mechanism by having these EV days. And yes, just general good media about it, about these vehicles. So it will turn itself around, but just right at the moment, we have a rather perverse situation in which plug-in hybrids dominate the entire electric vehicle area, but it's really based on spurious claims.
Yes, well, I think it behooves us all to get really well informed. So I'd like to invite everybody who's listening to this again to make your way down on the 19th of October to Spring into Sanctuary Point, their fair. I'm sure there's lots of other great things happening, but there you'll see the crew from Repower Shoalhaven and 5, 6, 7 vehicles that you can have a good hard look at and have a chat about. And also we'll be interviewing Bob Hayward, who's also from Repower Shoalhaven. He's coming along with Liza, I'm having a mental blank about her second name, RMP. And they'll be talking about electrifying everything in the Shoalhaven so that we can address the issues of emissions and the issues of continued use of petrochemicals in a bigger way. So many thanks. I really, really appreciate your time this morning, and I look forward to hearing people's comments and thoughts. Thank you, John. Cheers.
Yes, Cate. Yeah, there's a few gremlins on the line, but it was a pleasure. And yeah, get on down to the jump into Spring Fair on the 19th of October.
Yes, indeed.
At Sanctuary Point. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
looking
we
forward
will.
to see as many people as possible.